Guitarist, jazz slash rock slash country. He do it all. Guitar. Gil Parris on the Midnight Hour Radio Show. Gil, what's going on, man?
Hey, how are you?
We just chilling, man. We're listening to that roller coaster thing.
Hi, Gil. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm actually just on break right now. I'm with Bernie Williams, the new ex-New York Yankee, and we're just taking a few minutes off.
Oh, that's
okay.
good.
Where y'all chilling at? Y'all at the BB King Club or y'all someplace else?
No, we're actually doing like a last-minute impromptu thing at a place called Pete's, which is right in Elmsford, New York.
Okay.
It's about a half an hour from Midtown.
Okay. That ain't too bad. Half hour from Midtown.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that, man. We like the way you play the guitar. You can play it pretty funky, pretty smooth.
Thank you.
All right.
I got one of your tracks loaded up. I can't figure out what the name of it is. It's with you, something to do with a 1220 something, and you in the studio. 1220.
Oh, that's probably with. That might have been with Chris Bodie back on the Certain Beauty record, or you might be talking about Duck Walk, which is a tune I did a duet with Randy Brecker back a couple years back.
Right. I don't know. I guess you can tell us about the track once we play it, but tell us about your music. Who are some of the artists you work with?
Well, the past couple of years, I've been doing some sideman stuff with Bobby Caldwell.
Yeah.
Obviously, What You Won't Do for Love, and
yes.
his hits for other people like Heart of Mine and Janet.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he just called me to play with him last week. And Diane Shure, who's fabulous, and with Bernie Williams as well. He's a good friend, and we've been working a bunch, and as well as keeping my own thing going. So it's a busy time now. You got to diversify.
Right. I see somewhere you work with a couple of the big names, huh? Who are some of the bigger names you were? I see you see.
Well, I did a couple years with Blood, Sweat, and Tears with David Clayton Thomas.
Awesome.
And I recorded with them. I recorded with David and with Dr. John, and early on with Tony Braxton. And I'm trying to think of who else you might be thinking of.
Yeah, that's pretty huge right there, Tony Braxton.
Right. How was it to work with Tony Braxton? That's the question I was going to ask you. This is Shantae. That's the question I was going to ask you. How was it to work with her? I heard she's awesome.
Hi, Shantae. It was great. That was back in the Hit Factory days, and we were doing. Unfortunately, some of the tracks we did wound up on the cutting room floor, but it was with the producer Darren Whittington for her Secrets record. So I think we're going back to, I'm trying to think of the year, maybe 95. Because after that, I signed to RCA BMG Records. And those were the days when non-singing guitar players could get record deals. so I put out a record and it did well. We had David Sanborn played on it, and Bob James.
I love David Sanborn. Yeah,
and I love him. He's
awesome.
One of my
Isn't he awesome?
Artists.
I know. He has a gift. You do too, though. You really, really have a gift.
Now, what's telling me is like you got some connection to the BB King Club in New York, huh?
I did a show there. I played there with all the artists I mentioned before, and I did a lot of sideman stuff there. And every year or so, I do a show under my own name, and I got one coming up September 18th. It's a Thursday night, and we usually sell out. It's like it's called Picks the Guitar Hits. It's songs from Hendrix, Santana, Jeff Beck, but also tunes of my own and tunes that I play for other artists that I work with. So maybe we'll do a Blood, Sweat, and Tears song. Maybe we'll do something from Bobby Caldwell, as well as like doing the hits of those people I mentioned. Right. So it's great, and the band is killing, and it's always a good time. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Gil, they're listening to you all over the world in 37 countries. 6 continents, man, on the Midnight Hour Radio Show. Gil Parris, guitarist. I don't want to classify you as jazz, rock, or country? Because they say you can play all three, from what I hear.
Well, it's all music to me, and unfortunately, I love it all.
Right.
I say unfortunately, but I'm kidding, because I really do love it all, and I think of it all as one thing. And the guys that I love, like David Sanborn and George Benson, they can play anything, and they were my heroes.
Well, I want to let the world hear some of Gil Parris on the Midnight Hour Radio Show.
Yes.
Gil Parris on the Midnight Hour Radio Show.
Wow, you go, boy. Yeah. You go, boy.
Yeah, I ain't trying to compare you with nobody, man, but you play like B.B. King,
man.
Well, I had the pleasure of opening some shows for B.B. He is such a sweetheart.
Man, I know you did. You got that same sound, I read somewhere he was doing 300 shows a year until he died almost.
Wow.
That's true. He is such a gracious host. Every time you open a show for him, he'll come out at the end and he'll say, and thanks to Gil Parris or thanks to whoever is opening for him, and he does a shout-out. And that's really sweet. You don't get that a lot from, a lot of headliners.
Right, man. Well, I don't know who taught you how to play that. The devil in a blue dress suit, huh?
Gil, this is Michael G here. How you doing? When you play, it sounds like you're talking. So while you're playing, are you mentally talking to us through your playing?
That's good, Mike.
That is, that's my whole thing. That's my goal. I can't play anything if I don't hear it. So for me, it's like it's sort of like I'm hearing that singing thing in my head. And that's what comes out. That's the only way I can play. So, and it's a huge compliment, so I thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, I see that's probably what got you the Grammy nomination, because that was like, wow, when it's like you were talking, like we kind of just chill a little bit when we listen to the music, but we were all sitting up here attentive with our headsets on, like, wow.
That's
even the engineer, we was jamming.
I thank you for that. I just shot this version of Europa for this show that used to be on BET called Studio Jams.
Okay.
And,
I've heard of it.
And we just shot it, a couple months ago, and it already has like 20,000 some odd views, and people are writing in saying that's the thing that hits them is the speaking through the instrument thing, and that really means the most to me. I mean, that really is the bottom line for me.
That's awesome.
It's only a few people could do that, Gil. Like that put you in a ring with Eddie Van Halen and of course Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton. You know what I mean?
I love them all.
These is the people who can make the guitar talk.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's
exactly.
right. That's a gift. It's a gift.
Yeah.
Well, I hope if you guys are anywhere near Times Square, September 18th, Thursday, BB Kings will be in the main room. We'll be playing all night and
Wow.
playing our hearts out. So, I hope to see everybody out there if they can make it.
Right, so we want to induct you into the Midnight Hour Radio Show Hall of Fame. This started with Marilyn McCool and Billy Davis Jr.
Wow.
So we want to give you the opportunity to be inducted. I'm going to pass the buck over here to Rocky Thunder on the Midnight Hour Radio Show.
All right, Gil, this
Thank
is Rocky
you.
Thunder. What we do when we induct you is we give you 30 seconds. You can sing, do spoken word, anything that makes you feel comfortable doing. And what that does is that if you're ever in Cleveland, you can stop by the Midnight Hour Radio Show, or you can always just call in and say, hey, what's up? How you guys doing? So your 30 seconds starts now. You can do whatever you feel like doing.
Okay. Hi, this is Gil Parris. Welcome to the Midnight Radio Hour. And if you like guitar that makes you really feel something, please check out the videos. Go to YouTube. Check out the new version of Europa. Come see me playing in New York. I play a lot with Bernie Williams, Bobby Caldwell, with Diane Shure. Come up and say hello. I love making new friends. This is Gil Parris for the Midnight Radio Hour.
Gil Parris has been inducted to the Midnight Hour Radio Show.
You're
Hall of
in now.
Fame.
You're a family now.
Yes, Gil Parris. I'm going to give another shout out to Tom Mesty because he sent us some cool musicians tonight.
Yeah.
First, Dennis Angel, then you.
Tom is
That's
the
nice.
man.
He's a good egg.
Yeah.
And you know who blessed our show before he died, Gil, was,
George Duke.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he blessed us, man. We didn't even know he was sick.
Right.
Yeah.
Came on and did an interview. 10 days later, he was dead.
Wow.
May God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what a beautiful musician.
Yes.
What a gift. And it pains me to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Mhm.
Well, we want to thank you, Gil, till next time for coming on the Midnight Hour
thank
Radio
you, thank
Show.
you.
Thank you,
We
Gil.
enjoyed ourselves. Gil Parris.
Yes. Woo!
Thank you.
So much, guys.
Come back
Thanks for the
anytime.
time.
All
You
right.
Take care.
You too.
God bless from New York.
God
All
bless
right.
you too.
God's blessings on you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Man, that guy can play a guitar.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
That
I mean-
talking to you, Michael, that was such a wonderful thing to ask because I know when you play instruments, because I learned how to play the piano, and that's the way I did. It wasn't so much as